Welcome to another episode of The Second Coming. I'm your host, Jason Keaton, and I'm here with Brother T, our minister. How's it going today, Brother T?
It's going very well, man. I got a big early start this morning, did some early morning reading and meditation, and off to a good start. Lots of tears this morning, lots of tears of gratitude. I'm very, very excited to be back on the air with you, Mr. Keaton. I'm very excited to be doing this podcast, and it just feeds my soul. And I just keep getting so many downloads and so much information. It's very, very exciting for me personally. And I'm always very, very grateful to be in your presence and in your company, Jason.
And thank you so much, Brother T, for the kind words. And likewise, where two or more are gathered, as Jesus said, as you have said, our collective energies here with everyone watching, with yourself, I couldn't be more grateful. So
Indeed.
Welcome, everyone. Brother T, you want to breathe us in for a sec?
Yeah, let's start with a little prayer, a short meditation. Let's just turn within. Let's take a good deep breath as we turn within. I love to ask the question, are you there? And then I feel the wash. And I feel the love. I feel the gratitude. I feel the connection. So we welcome in the host of angels, guides, mentors, teachers, and masters, and certainly our family beyond the veil who are accompanying us in this amazing, it's like unbelievable transformation, energetic transformation on planet Earth. Gaia is happening now. It's well underway, and it's accelerating as well. So I'm very, 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 very grateful to be in physical form during this time on this beautiful planet. And so with gratitude, we say, thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you for the love, and thank you for being with us and guiding us into the ultimate expression of love on this planet, the second coming. It will be so, and so it is.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Brother T, I got a chance to do some morning reading and meditation also this morning, and it kind of brought to life of the importance of what we're doing here today, the awakening of Christ consciousness among all of us. And so I want to pose today a question. As a soul, we say we need to do nothing. But as I was reading from some books today, it was like, we are all being awakened. Everyone certainly on this channel, in this podcast, listening is being awakened. We're here for a reason. We're listening. We are being called to action in a sense, right? Not just an observer, but do you agree that we're being called to action to be put out Christ's energy, I guess is what I would say. Is that how you take it?
Yeah, that's correct. I always want to preface the questions with what self am I calling to action? Right. You see, we have to. I just want to say, I'll speak for myself. It's important to me to be conscious of the self that I'm engaging in action. You know, when a minute ago you said, you know, the soul needs to do nothing, but that's actually not true. It's the ego that needs to do nothing. The soul has got a lot to do. The soul is just chomping at the bit, right? Is waiting for the opportunity to be recognized, to be appreciated, to be joined and connected with, and then get out of the way, because the soul has got a lot to do and has a big agenda. And that's what's happening on our planet right now. But it's the ego that we're giving that admonition to, is that, you know, just stay out of my spiritual journey. Take a seat in the back seat and just basically get thee behind me, because the ego is not capable of really even understanding the existence of the soul and the capacity of the soul and the nature of the holiness, the divinity of the soul. The ego can only imagine it. And of course, it's envious of it, but it has no control. We have the control to tell the ego to get thee behind me, and then allow the soul to say, come forth and express through me as me. And so that kind of I'm just adding a little clarity to your conversation there. I hope that helps a little bit in your thinking.
Absolutely, and thank you so much, because that was a little bit of why you're the minister and I'm the student. I mean, I love the clarity that you bring to me, and the light you shed upon this. So I want to actually talk a little bit from, I think, and I think this is okay, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I want to talk a little bit from the small I for the small s, and ask, is there something that the human form Jason can be doing to actively spread love and dispel fear in the world we live in, because we are in a collective vibration?
Yes, there absolutely is. And that is to simply be present. So when we're in the practice of being present, we're kind of, I like to express it as going vertical, because the egoic mind, the thought system of fear, is always thinking. And it's thinking about the past, and it's thinking about what the future would look like over here. So it's kind of look horizontal, right? So it's like one of those turnabouts, that they're become very popular in places like Ohio and Michigan, and now in Tennessee and other states, right, in Florida. Is you can go through these turnabouts. So you hit it, you don't actually have a stop, you just merge onto it, and you can go around it and take the exit that you want. But if you look at that on a plane, and let's just say we pick it up and we say, okay, now we're going horizontal, and we get on this turnabout, right? We get on it, we tend to just ignore it. The ego tends to ignore it and go from the past to the future, and the future back to the past. And it's continuously all day long working about what you're going to do next, and what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to do next year, next week, right? And what others are going to do, and how you can help them or avoid them, whatever the ego thinks it needs to do. It's thinking. So it's the thinking is the issue, if you will. So you can underline the word thinking and say, wait a minute, if God did not create me to be a thinker, and we talked about that a little bit last Sunday, if God didn't create me to be a thinker, then what am I spending all this energy thinking for, right? Well, the reason we're thinking so much is because the ego wants us to think, because it's the thinking self, and it wants us to give it all of our attention. So when we get to the turnabout, instead of in the middle is the presence. When we get present, we go vertical. And now we connect with spirit and say, just as we did a moment ago, are you there? And then what do? Well, we listen. We be quiet. We be present to what is. We start noticing, like in the present moment, I'm hearing some rain on the top of my coach here. I don't think you can probably hear it, but I can hear it a little bit. Hopefully it won't get too loud. Being present to nature is a great way to practice presence. Go for the walks in the woods, and go for the walks on the beach, and go for the walks in the forest, and wherever you might go where you're in nature. Because you'll notice that nature is actually very quiet, and you'll notice the creatures in nature are singing a song. They're typically singing a song, right, of joy, literally. And when we go into the woods, we literally have an impact on that energy as humans, as souls, right? And our thinking mind is whatever our thoughts are vibrations. And so they precede us, and they reflect back to us. So if we can set aside thoughts, especially thoughts of fear, thoughts of worry, thoughts of concern, thoughts about the future, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I will tell you a recent work that's come through from Spirit, and it just blew me away when I heard that, when I read that this week. But basically said, there's going to be more spiritual transformation in the next decade than this planet has experienced in the last 1,000 years. Think about that, or don't think about that. Be present to that. There's going to be more spiritual transformation in the next decade than the planet has experienced in the last 1,000 years. And that blew me away when I heard that, right? So how can we participate in that? By being present. We don't need to do anything but be present. And we can connect with our soul and let our soul begin to inform us and how we present ourselves. In other words, how we express to the world when we're present to the soul. But we can't be present to the soul when we're thinking and doing and focusing on the past, or thinking and focusing and doing something about the future. That's why it's so important, Jason, for us to practice meditation as frequently as possible. It's not a dogma. It's not something that you're never being judged. Spirit is never judging you, regardless of what you think you've done, good or bad, high or low. It doesn't matter. You are not being judged. You're being loved. You're being honored. But the vibration is lifting on this planet, and we can participate in that lifting by being present and giving our soul this high energy, our true, it's the Holy Spirit, your right mind. It's nothing more than your right mind, as Jesus tells us in A Course in Miracles. It's your true, capital T, self, capital S, self. Your true mind, right, is your soul. And so the more you connect with it or make space for it, the more you will impact the entire world by being and participating in this lifting of consciousness, by simply being present and finding ways throughout your day that, I want to say, help you to create environments to practice your intention. So I want to share this. We've been talking about, in the beginning, was the Word, and the Word was with God. And now we've defined that as Word is the energy of the Creator in action, and you and I are the Word. So let's practice this together. Word, I am Word. I am Word through this body. Word, I am Word.
Word, I am
Now
Word.
I'm going to add a little bit to it and say, Word, I am Word. I am Word through this intention. Word, I am Word. In other words, I'm setting an intention and establishing an environment so I can be present. And I'm going to add one more level to it. Word, I am Word through the knowing of myself as Word. Word, I am Word. Can you feel that?
I can feel that. That's beautiful, Brother T.
My hair's standing on edge.
Yeah.
It's so powerful, so powerful.
Yeah.
And these are attunements, right, that bring us to the present moment. Word, I am Word. What a blessing.
I just want to add a question to your comment is when I'm present, when I'm with myself, when I'm meditating, for my small self and the small I, a lot of times it feels like I'm alone. This is like such a personal Jason journey, and the small Jason, but what I notice is when I practice these things, and even though my ego is saying, you're not really doing anything, what I notice is when I go through my day and I smile at people and I share my energy, people definitely notice. People notice the energy in the room. People notice the energy at the grocery store. People come up and engage in just a friendly vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to just, what is it that am I feeling that incorrectly? That feeling of a little bit of isolation that my ego is feeling. I understand it's my ego, but is that normal? What I'm feeling?
Absolutely normal. Yes, indeed. I'll share a quick story with you. A couple of days ago, I was walking out in the neighborhood, and I met, one of my neighbors, and we were talking. And then this other woman was walking her dog, and she came up. She knew my other friend, and so we're talking. I didn't really know the other woman, and I didn't know her dog. And it's this cute little dog, right? And so as she came up, my neighbor starts trying to coach the dog. She loves dogs, and she's like, "Oh, and she's bending over. She's trying to get the dog's attention, and the dog's like, "Rah, rah," nip her at a little bit, but not anger, not just, wasn't sure of her. And the woman said, oh, she said, this man came up to me the other day, and he got down started to try to pet the dog, and she nipped at him. And they're having this discussion. But I'm looking at the dog, and I knelt down, squatted down on close to the dog, and I just looked at the dog in her eyes, and I said, I know who you are. And her eyes met mine. She came closer, and she literally started licking my face, licking my lips. And the owner of the dog was blown away. She's like, I've never seen her do that before. Every animal around us are conscious. We are the Word. We are the energy of the Creator in action. And when we align with that energy and hold that energy in our daily expression, expressing through and as us, we're just letting the love flow. And last night I was at playing some volleyball over here in the gym with some friends, and I was leaving, and we were like on a little platform on the side of this basketball court, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there's some steps. And as I was leaving, going down the steps, this woman was there, and she had this little girl with her. And this little girl was probably, 3 or 4 years old. And when I looked down and saw her, and her eyes met mine, went, and I felt, and immediately she just started smiling so big. And her mom was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, what would you be sorry for this child for? She's not bothering me. She's not bothering anybody. See, if we just be the expression of love, that's all that's required to be a big part of this transformation of this planet. It's happening. All we have to do is be present to what's going on around us. Meet our brothers and sisters, eye-to-eye contact. Let them know that you see their innocence and feel them. Meet everyone as if it's the first time you've ever met them in your life when you see them today. These are little things that have such a huge impact. And it'll have, giving and receiving are one, it'll have that same impact on you because you feel the love that you're expressing. Because as it's expressing through you from your heart, from your soul, then you're the benefactor of that as it reflects back to you through that one that you're sharing that love with. You can't do it wrong. You cannot do it wrong.
I love that. I love that. And also standing out of your own egoic way, and the dogma and your conditioning is to release when you're being present, release the limitations that you've put on yourself. And if you wouldn't mind just briefly wrapping us up with, as we're sitting here present, as I'm sitting here present, and I'm sitting and walking through nature and seeing deer, could you give me a nice overview of when I'm present, what this vibrational raising of the planet looks like? I'm being present, but give me some hints, what I'm looking for. What am I experiencing? I'm here being present. I'm in nature. I'm in the vibration of God, and I'm doing nothing. What does this planet vibrational look like through my human eyes?
Well, the tendency of the ego is always to look outward and using the 5 senses. But I want to refer to one of those senses called feeling. But there's a feeling tone in your heart, and it is the tone of the monad, the one, God, if you will. It's a song that's being sung, and it's always in your heart. So the work we're doing is not an external work, and it's not something we're looking for. It is a feeling that we're present, being present to. And I'll speak for myself, Jason, but I have come to recognize the vibration of love, to feel it so deeply and so intently that my eyes leak easily. I cry a lot, right? Because I'm in this because when I feel this vibration of love, my heart just explodes open. Just sharing those stories with you a moment ago, can you feel the love? If you can begin to feel the love, if you can begin to see the tree is not a tree, the tree is God expressing as the tree, and the tree loves you. The leaves love you. The grass loves you. The earth loves you. You are the Word. You are the energy of the Creator in action on this planet, blessing this planet. And it is a feeling that is absolutely recognizable. There's nothing that is that we need to do except to be present. But we can only experience that feeling when we're being present to the present moment, the now, as our friend Eckhart Tolle would say. Because when we are in this now moment, it's the only moment there ever is. Time itself is just an illusory construct.
Mm-hmm.
And when I use the word construct, somebody was asking about that the other day, and I just want to add a little clarity. If you're not clear, if somebody is listening in and not clear about what is construct, construction. We have constructed a false idea of our reality. We have constructed a belief system that we're bodies. We're not bodies. We're saints. We are God's children. Word, I am Word through the knowing of myself as Word. Word, I am Word. It is the feeling tone of love that we want to be present to. And just let that be. And congratulate yourself if you feel you need to. That's fine. But just being in that vibrational field of love, you're emitting it and receiving it simultaneously. You have to receive what you give. You are the receiver first. You can't give what you don't have. So you have to be willing to receive it first. And in the receipt of it, express it gladly, because the more you give, the more you receive.
I love that. I love that, Brother T. And you are in good vibrations because your feeling and your emotions that come out. When you see the Dalai Lama, who is a minister also, he's often laughing, and we hear about the laughing Buddha, and these saints and ministers of God. Really, when you reach a point towards enlightenment, you do become so much feeling and love and laughter and emotion, and it's you start feeling more than thinking, which is the whole point of it, right? So beautiful. Right. So beautiful.
But just understand, for clarity, that it's not a journey to something. Mm-hmm. It's just awareness of getting out of the way of what's already there.
Oh, beautiful.
There are no gurus, there are no saints, and there are no masters. There are only God's children, and you are that. Everyone, regardless of whether they're conscious of it or not, they are already that. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to do. There's only something to be aware of, and it's always and will always be who you are. So the practice of being your true self, your true mind, is to simply be present and allow it to be who you are being. Being and presence are the order of the day. Being and presence are the keys to the understanding of yourself as God has created you to be. Word, I am Word.
It's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Oh, well, thank you, Brother T, for all of your thoughts and wisdom and sharing it with your heart. And I'll let you wrap it up. What do we have here?
Well, let's repeat our little attunement.
I like
Word,
that.
I am Word.
Word, I am Word.
I am Word through this body.
I am Word through this body. Word, I am
and
Word.
And I'll say this once and then repeat it with me, Jason.
Sounds good.
I am Word through this vibration. Word, I am Word. I am Word through this vibration. Word, I am Word.
I am Word through this vibration.
Okay, here's the last one. I'll say it once and then repeat it with me.
Okay. Great.
Word, I am Word. I am Word through the knowing of myself as Word. Word, I am Word. One more time. Word, I am Word. I am Word through the knowing of myself as Word. Word, I am Word.
It's powerful. It's very powerful.
So all glory to God. God is, God is, God is. Behold, I make all things new. And this transformation of this planet is well underway. The second coming is now. It is already happening. And everyone, each and everyone, is participating in it by choice or not by choice. So I say, let's make the choice today to be the agent of change. Let's let love flow through our hearts and into this world and allow the healing and the blessings of love to change this world into the kingdom of heaven that it's always been. It will be so, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Brother T, and thank all of you for joining us this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love sharing with our community. We couldn't be here without you. Brother T, thank you again, and I'll see you next week on another episode of The Second Coming.
Thank you, Brother Jason. See you soon.
See you soon.